Hello, my name is Abby. I have been organizing and decluttering in the Boise, Idaho Treasure Valley area for over 8 years. I started my business because I have a passion to help people get through the clutter, the piles that have been overwhelming them and frankly paralyzing them for so long, sometimes decades. And it's so painful for so many people for many reasons. So one of the reasons I want to bring you today and to give you some hope that you are not alone and you are not forever stuck in that spot of not enjoying your space because of the clutter and the pain of going through those items and what do you put where and how, right? Three things that I want to mention today that are so painful but encourage you to walk through them. So one of the things is items that are left over from after someone passes away. That is so painful. And I've helped so many people and sitting on the ground crying with people because of the people that they have lost. However, they have taken the intentional time to look at the items that were left over. Sometimes it's houses full, sometimes it's a handful of boxes. But whatever the amount of stuff it is, just know that that loved one is not defined by all the stuff that they left behind. Yes, take some treasures, things that you enjoy, or maybe you remember them using or being around, right? But not a whole house full, not a whole garage full. Because if you have all those items that you enjoy from that person or that they owned or you remember them by, if they're all in boxes in a garage, you're not enjoying them. You're just holding that off till a different time to, oh, well, maybe someday. Because yes, you have to go through the layers and the process to grieve and go through that. However, the stuff is going to make it harder if you try to keep so many of the things. Be okay to let that stuff go. Because I think about it, if you were to when we all get out of this life not alive, right? So even think about yourself. If you left all this stuff for your loved ones to go through the absolute turmoil that I see these clients going through to try to make decisions on all this stuff that was left behind, that is painful. Would you really want your loved ones that have cared for you to go through all those piles and, oh, I don't know, what's this? And why would they have left all this stuff for me, right? So evaluate that. Don't keep everything. Go through the process, hire a professional like myself or anyone of a professional, probably not a family member, to go through that process. You have got this. The other really painful thing that I see, kind of similar, are gifts. People feel so much responsibility and honestly guilt when it comes to gifts that they have been given and they don't want. So first things first is if there is a gift or a family heirloom or something that you were gifted that you no longer want, let yourself be okay with that. Like, okay, it no longer is for this season. It's not for my lifestyle. It's not what I enjoy. For whatever reason, you don't owe anyone an explanation besides it's not for me. I don't want it. Because the cool thing is that, again, you get to have autonomy. You get to have the response, because you do have the responsibility for your own space, right? You might share it with family members or kids or a spouse, but regardless, you still have input. You still have control somewhat with that space, right? So I'm giving you the green flag, the opportunity to evaluate. Okay, I don't like this stuff anymore. I don't want it. So if it was a family heirloom, go back to that person and say, I no longer want this. Thank you so much for the experience, for the time that I had it, but I'm good. Like now it can go and bless someone else. Because a lot of people start to, like I said, feel so guilty about that, keeping that item because, oh, it's from my grandma's aunt's great removed cousin I never met. If it's that extreme, yeah, you don't need to keep it. They are passed away. If they are that angry before they leave, saying you have to keep this, you have to do this with this stuff, it is stuff. At the end of the day, it is stuff. And at the end of the day, you are the one who has to put your head on a pillow and decide, I don't like this. I don't feel right about this. I'm only keeping the stuff out of guilt. That's not healthy. Those are not healthy boundaries. There's a lot of layers here, but again, I recommend just coming back to the spot. Number one, you don't want that item anymore. That's already decided. You either give it back to the person who gave it to you, or you get rid of it. Maybe you have a good friend group that like, hey, I have this really unique, nice item. I don't want it anymore. Is anyone interested? You could try to sell it. But don't put so much responsibility and weight and everything with that item. That item has value because of what you have placed on it, or your family member, or wherever it came from. But the biggest deal is that if it is not bringing you peace, if it is adding to chaos or overwhelm to your life or your home, that is the biggest indicator. It's a no. Just get rid of it. The third concern and frustration that people have is like, where do I even start? How do I do this? Understandable. You are not alone. So what I recommend, again, I've been doing this for over 8 years for people. You start. I recommend not starting with your whole house. Start with one drawer, one pile, one closet, right? Make it very tangible. You don't need to spend 10 hours working on everything. Make it very easy and doable for you. Okay, great. I have a half hour. I can do that drawer, right? You start the process, just like compounding interest, just like your health, your mental health, your relationships. It starts by starting it, right? You begin. And sure, oh my gosh, my whole house is crazy. I don't like it. That's great. That's awesome. You can see, okay, I have a goal. I want to get my whole house done. Great. It won't get completed until you start with one item, one space. And as you start going through that, you make a decision one at a time. And I would recommend starting with something that's easy. So say maybe your junk drawer, right? There's not really necessarily super hard things in there. Maybe there is, but as you're going through this, you are going to get more clarity. Clarity comes from action. So you're going to start seeing, oh my gosh, this drawer was so easy. What was I so scared about it for 2 years? Why did I not attack that? Or the pile that's been sitting there in my face for over a year, and now I went through it. Oh wow, it wasn't that bad. There's one item that I don't know what to do with. If it's a maybe, just put it in a box, put it in a bag, and get it out of your space. Start working on one pile at a time. And as you're going through those piles, you work at one item at a time. Oh my gosh, there's like 50 items. Great. Make that one decision for that item. Okay, this piece of paper, I do need to save it for whatever reason. Okay, it goes in the file. I don't have a file. Okay, make a section. Like start putting it somewhere to make a home for it. It doesn't have to be the final home, but you just begin. Because if it's just full of fear and like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, you will find out as you go along. You can't make all the decisions before you even attack the pile, right? So you've got this. There is always hope. And I also suggest to help in this process, start being less on social media or Pinterest, because it's so easy to start comparing yourself. Oh, well, look at what their house looks like. Oh, look at what they've been able to get rid of. Look at what they've been. No. Your peace and where you are at is the big deal, not where everyone else is at, not all the piles that you need to go through. Where you are at right here and right now. And you've watched us this far. Like, how awesome is that? Great job. There is hope. There is always, always hope. Follow me for more. Subscribe, follow. You've got this. I'm so proud of you for even making this step. That is huge. That's half the battle right there. You've got this, and I'm proud of you.